Right, today, left-handed Squier Telecaster. This thing is brand spanking new. Basically, the guy bought it recently, like very recently, and you know, your typical Squier from the factory, it's not set up the best. All I've done since I've had it in, like the kind of preambles, I've brought the action down. I'm just going to double check where that low string is. Well, the low string's a hair low for my liking, but you can hear it could really do with like a fret level, but I don't think the guy would want to. But like that's remember I brought the action down like really low to my 1.5 on the treble side and 2mm on the bass side. So that is like low. And considering, you know, for a factory, what, £150 guitar, that's not terrible. So, but I don't know if you can hear. Maybe able to hear that scratchy frets. I'm going to see how much of that I can polish out, but I doubt it'll make a huge difference. I'm saying that, it's always worked in anyway. Right, get the strings off. The guy wants to keep the original strings on, well, these strings, because I don't know. I honestly can't tell you how new or old these strings are, but I'm assuming these are strings it had from the box. Yeah, no causing balance, not like the Darios or anything, or it could be, I just don't know. But yes, when you have factory strings, it's a lot like setting up the guitar with old strings. So I wouldn't recommend it. But I'm saying, but if the strings look okay, then they usually are. That takes a really nice polish, that. I'm actually getting ahead of myself. It's got sharp frettings all the way up. So I'm gonna round these over. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. That was actually not bad. So you can see my kind of hand movements. Just literally rounded over the fret with a file that can't chew into the board. Don't know if you can hear that. I have a feeling these frets aren't well seated. But at the end of the day, with these guitars, you do kind of get what you pay for. Granted, the woodwork is good. Yeah, the woodwork is good. That's That's all I can really say. You know, for this kind of price point, their work is great. But how's the... It's flat sawn neck, it looks like. So if it's not been treated, it'll have a tendency to warp, but only time will tell with that. And of course, with most Eastern made guitars, the fret wires will be soft and pretty rubbish. I know it sounds like I'm complaining, but these are really great guitars. And it's just the problem with mass production. You make everything to a price point, some things suffer. Right, I'm way off camera, but I'm almost finished this side. Oh, the end of the fingerboard is sharp like the actual bottom of the neck. That's a new one. But it's one of those things you're never going to feel, so it's... yeah. I'll show you. This edge, like that's actually sharp. Almost, I felt like I almost cut my thumb on it. I'm just going to just... yeah, that's a lot better. Now, where did I get up to? You need to be careful up here because you can easily slip and hit the body, which you don't want to do for obvious reasons. Actually, like years ago, I had this gorgeous Epiphone Firebird in. I was using my beveling tool to do the ends of the frets after a refret, and I was right-handed, so I slipped and it put a big deep scratch like in this area, and oh my god, my heart fucking sank. I was incredibly lucky though because the guy was fine with it, and I did make an effort to repair it with some nail polish and finishing over it with glue and things like that. But you know that way it just happens, and then oh, you just don't know what to feel or what to think. Anyway, that's that side feeling pretty good. I'm just going to quickly do up the other side off camera and then get back to polishing the frets. That's the fret ends done. Go up and get all these polished up. I'm actually really thankful it's not rosewood because I can't be arsed with it oiling and waiting around with it. You know, sometimes you have to, but if you don't have to, then that's an advantage. I have the string spreader up. Let's keep the strings out the road, obviously. These frets are really polishing up a treat. And so I really hope the scratchiness goes away. Because it's not bad, but you know that way, it's just one of those feel things that really bugs you when you notice it. I mean, the guy's got a 90s, I think, Japanese Mustang that's getting set up like straight after this. And oh, what was the point I was going to make? I've no, completely lost my train of thought. If it comes back to me, I'll. Yeah, Mustang's been well played, so I reckon after like maybe even a week of playing this, it's probably worn the frets down enough to get rid of any scratchiness. Because when I got my AFD, it only took me about a year to play the frets down because I love that guitar so much. Because I bought it with the original frets, and then straight away had to replace the first two. Leveled the frets from there, and yeah, and then within a year, by this time last year, I was thinking about refretting it, and then I put it off until, well, the video's up now. Put it off till a couple months ago. Just haven't looked back since. Because quality fret wire really does make a difference. And it's not even a huge difference in the fret wire, because this stuff will be 12% nickel, I think. And really good fret wire is 18%. So you think it's only a 6% increase, but the hardness difference is incredible. How is that angle for you? That's actually pretty good. What size of truss? Allen key does it need 4mm? Thought my 4mm was out there, but it's a 3mm because I was tuning my Van Halen copy up last night. I got myself a Boss Katana Mini just because I wanted something small, portable, battery operated, and my god, is that incredible. Like, I had a little Marshall MG15, like the actual combo version. I've got the stack, that's the one that I normally do my sound demos with, and I love that thing. I had the MG, the combo version, a couple of weeks ago, and I was trying to sell it, and the only reason I was selling it because it wasn't small and battery powered. But the sound off it was fantastic, and the Katana is about a quarter the size, and it's phenomenal. And it's loud as well. Like, I never would have expected that, because obviously before things like the Katana and the Black Star Fly, your options were like those Marshall belt clip things. You know, one like Jack Black has in School of Rock. And I had one of them years ago that looked like a wee combo amp. In fact, I still have the guts of it strewn around the place. And oh, in fact, there we go. So that's what my wee one looked like. See, I've ripped it out. And yeah, this is fine for like fucking around with. But no real sound quality, and then the Katana comes up and it's like a whole different ballgame. So yeah, happy bunny with my purchase decision. Right. And that isn't too bad. It's a touch high, but if I can bring it down in the nut and bring it up at 12th fret, that might alleviate a lot of the fret buzz issues, on the low string at least. hair's still wet, but I need to tie it up so I can see what I'm doing. Definitely the right side, yeah. I do that all the time. Start cutting up, panic, and then double check, is that the right side I'm using? And it is. Honestly, a pencil line on a black nut is one of the hardest things to see to the naked eye. There we go. Yeah, trick to G and D strings when you got one string tree is make it a bit straighter. Because you want the nut slot to hinder the vibration past the nut, which is difficult to do, but it can be done. Obviously with the B and E, you've got the tree there, so that's fine, and then with the A and E, the length is too short to really ring out any. Or any significant amount. Obviously it still rings out to some degree, but middle two strings are the ones you hear. Come on. It's just a hair to go, but you know it's that way. Yeah. There. I'm not happy with that angle yet. I know it really shouldn't be like sawing, but because you've got such a little space to work with, it does make it a bit easier. Notice it's I've got no music on. Basically, I normally listen to it through Google Nest, and that's just refusing to work. Like normally, if it's just kind of not working, you prompt it and it says sorry, it's not connected. But now it's not even responding to your voice. That's a bit frustrating. I was thinking about playing music on my phone through the Katana Mini, but I don't know what that'll do to the microphone. If it'll just disconnect it because it senses something in there. I'm going to take the spreader off, just see how the string's sitting in up. Don't need a lot of tension on them, just enough to hold them there. Oh, come on. Yeah, good bit of shaping to be done. Yeah, I definitely want to bring some good bit of height off that nut. B string just decided to completely come out the tuner, so it's a wee pain. Bit of tape there. Oh, hard, because this is plastic, this will be a breeze. Really was a breeze. That's that pretty much done. Well, height wise. See, if you have better nut material, it does take longer. But at the same time, that nut will last a lot longer than this one will. I'm going to take a little more off on the treble side before I shape this corner. Not much, because I still want plenty. Yeah, just that much. Just that much. Right. Yeah, 400, yeah. And 1200, or only some 1200. You look like 6, yeah. And finish up the steel wheel. So you can see the plastic isn't the best as soon as you take a file to a discolours like that. Actually, don't know what you can see. Yeah, there you go. That was proper, just plain black. Look at it at the edge there. Yeah, as soon as you start working it, all the whites come up. Yeah, I dropped my spanner behind some stuff, so I was retrieving it there. I hate doing this with a spanner, but I don't want to take the strings off. Because that happens. Now you've seen me, I like to get the strings off and do it with the socket and get it properly done. That's a relatively painless setup. sometimes it can be an absolute bear with cheap guitars. Yeah, okay, that's fine. String trees in a slightly wrong place. Come on. See that it's not going to bother that, it's not going to make a huge difference, but you know that way it's just one of those small things. Right, I'm going to get this tuned up. Pause. Right, tuned up roughly. Let's see what's relief doing. Relief is pretty good. I'm happy with that there. Let's adjust the action, see if we can get rid of some of that buzz. So, you always want to keep your saddles parallel too. Not bad. Maybe I want to put heavier strings on it, you know that, for action this low. Like I say, I'm just doing 2mm on the bass side and 1.5 on the treble side. Will that be you? Yeah, close. Close, close, close. Yeah, that's good there. Just try to keep it in tune so the tension on the neck is even-ish. So obviously you start even just tuning up one string, or tuning up and down a string a good bit, well, even just one string will change the tension of the net quite dramatically, which throws everything else off. So at least if it's close, it'll be fine. And I'll check the measurements here. That's fine, fine, fine. Yeah, like I say, because I brought it down at the nut, it lowers the string overall, so I'm able to bring it up at the bridge to the measurement I want to see, and that'll help a lot with the playability. I'm making this as long as I can because I realise that I don't show a lot of things because I feel like things are self-explanatory. And not like that, I've never... no, I don't... at least on camera, I've not set up a brand new guitar. Like one straight out of the box. Right, down a touch. Because this is what you're faced with, this is what guitars new out of the box are like. High action most of the time, like this one was. Because like I say, I only brought it down before I started recording. Not just as it is. They're not just as it is, like all high and unshaped. And it looks as though the pickup heights haven't been set either. Because it's all these little details. Fret ends too, they were a bit sharp. It's all these little details that does separate like your cheap guitar from your mid-price guitars. Too high. Like I say, I like to see 1.5mm at the 12th fret for my treble strings, and for the bass strings I like to see 2mm at the 12th fret. And again, that's all based on like your relief being, I don't know what the cameras can see. I can see enough, yeah, so that's 1st fret, 17th fret, there's the 9th fret. It's like a fag paper or something's width or thickness. So it's a really straight neck. But not straight because there's a little discrepancy between the relief on the low string and the high string, but yeah, that's a little bit discrepancy, but that plays well. I mean, if I take my plectrum out and hit a low string, you still got that going on. But you play a full chord, it's not bad. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's still vibrating for like 10 seconds with that much buzz when you hit it hard. And like I say, I think that's just me being heavy-handed with it. Where's my little ruler? Here it is. I want you down. I'll put you at 2mm. That's good. And I want you at 2.5. And yeah, I set my treble side and bass side for the pickups the same height. Just because I always aim for a one size fits most kind of factory spec, because it really does work. I think 2.5 is a bit off, but I can't remember my exact Fender specs. And with the action height, that feel like that's a Gibson spec, because Fenders a lot of time are higher to compensate for the radius. Well, depending on the radius of course, but like, you know, 7 1/4, 9 1/2 kind of things, you're looking at like 0.5 millimeter higher than like a 12-inch radius. The action, I mean, not the pickups. That height, yeah, that's probably as close as I can get it. Right, so I'm just going to take it through to my pedal tuner, set the intonation, and that should be this one done. I'll do a sound down with the Katana back in here, just so you can get an idea. Right, I think that's this one done. I'll mess about with the tuning later, but yeah, not a bad wee guitar for the money. Obviously, I'm not left-handed, so I can't play this for shit. You can hear the amp humming, because that's the pickups. I've put it in the middle, cancels the hum. So. So yeah, I think the only thing we'll do is tighten up these tuner screws and get this tuned up again, and that'll be a proper area to go. But as far as the setup goes, that's all done, and it plays well. Watch out for these screws, by the way, on these affinities, because this A1, something had stripped, and I didn't have any spares, so the way I've kind of temporary fix, I've basically put solder on it, like just heated up the screw, touched it with the solder and basically thickened it up so it'd catch, and it seems to be holding, so I'm not going to mess around with that anymore since the intonation's roughly set. These two don't have much more travel back, but they're still a bit out, so that's another reason you need to put new strings on, even though these are these aren't new. They're really not not fresh. So yeah, that's it for this guy.